No matter where I go and who we talk to, people say, is it a good time to be selling my house? Should I be looking to buy a house? What are the interest rates? How's the market? Can you even buy a house right now? All these questions come up on a day-to-day basis. Well, my name is Mike Field and I'm with Field Realty. What I'd like to do is explain a lot of the things that are happening in today's market, take a look back to last year at this time versus this year, compare the two, and figure out where we expect this thing to go over the next couple months here. What I did was take a deep look into the Albany, Rensselaer, Schenectady, and Saratoga markets. We took those four, compiled the stats, and we're going to take a look back from April 2019 to April 2020. So if you would allow me, I'm going to bring you to one slide here to get us started. And this is the number of contract signed, closings, and new listings to hit the market. Now what you'll see here, these numbers in red are the numbers for 2020. And these numbers in green are the numbers from 2019. Now as you'll notice, these numbers for 384 of contract signs compared to 918 of last year for the month of April, it was almost triple last year. The closings was a little bit closer. 550 closings in April 2020 compared to 681 of April 19. There were 608 new properties that hit the market in the month of April compared to last year at 1046. So here's the read on this. You have a third of the contract signed. You have 40% less in listings being hit in the market. Those two numbers together, that just calls for a huge amount of pent-up demand, which is what we see right now. We have buyers every day asking us, when are the new listings going to hit the market, right? And they're really gearing up. As our buyer pool continues to rise with as many buyers as we have in our pipeline looking to buy, the number of listings that we have coming on the market in the next 30 days doesn't correlate. So that, based on those numbers and the experiences we're having with the conversations with the buyers and sellers, we know that there's more demand from the buyers than there are the listings sold. So that's keeping the prices high. And the fact that the interest rates are so low, that's the win for the buyers in today's market. The next slide I want to show you is a deeper dive into this. And when we compare April 2019 compared to 2020, look at the days on market here. It was 63 in 2019. And this year in 2020, it was 58. So that number was actually down. The other number to keep in mind here is the list to sale price ratio. So when a home sold in April 2019, it averaged a 98.4% of whatever the list price was. Well, in this past April 2020, that was up just about a percentage point, up to 99.2%. We talked about the other three numbers here, so I'm not going to go through those again. But basically, the two takeaways are the days on market is down and the average sale price is up. Now let's take a look at another slide here. And these are two line graphs that will show you basically the data we talked about, but it just shows you kind of the gap and where I want to identify where things shifted. So when we look at how we came out of the first part of the year, this was a normal projection of where we were going to go. We saw a little bit spike out of the gate, things cooled off, and then they cooled off again, and then they picked back up. This is typically the spring market. All right, so right about this point, this is where we see things generally kind of take this type of curve year over year. Now, what you'll notice is just about week 12 was the critical point to where we saw a shift. In 2019, that blue number goes up. 2020, the number comes down. That's where closings got stalled out because people's income were affected. Maybe the money you were using for your down payment got diminished by the market taking a tank, those sorts of things. But that was a very identifiable moment in week 12 there in the market. Now, what we would like to do is take a quick look at the number of contracts that were written. And this is even more eye-opening as far as I'm concerned. When we look back, we lived through this. And when we were here, this was like the last week of March into May, we saw number of contracts drastically drop. And again, the red numbers indicate 2020 number of contracts written per week. And it was all the way down to 49 on week 14. So what I'm guessing is going to happen is this blue number is going to tail off as we see it typically, historically. And then I expect this number to come down and then make its way up here to where they're going to close the gap here in the next couple of months. So that's where a lot of people are saying, hey, should I be doing this now? Should I be looking for a house? Should I be looking to sell? These numbers ultimately are going to work themselves out just like they would over any other given year. In my estimation, this is just the major difference in year over year. So as I clean this up here, one of the things buyers are always saying is, is it a good time? Should I be looking to, and then sellers say, hey, is this a good time to be selling our house? You shouldn't make any buying or selling decisions with your agent until you look at what the absorption rates are in that market. That will tell you whether you're competing in a buyer's market or seller's market. And all these numbers that I'm looking at here, they identify whether it is either a buyer's market or a seller's market. You'll see that most of the inventory, or price points rather, below 3.25 are pro-seller market. Above 3.25, that's where things soften up. All right. So again, no decision should be made if you're thinking about buying or selling a house without going through these numbers. So again, as a recap, what we looked at was the number of units that hit the market, the number of contracts, the days on market, and the prices that homes were selling at. I think it's interesting that when we look back, the fact that the prices were slightly higher, the fact that the days on market were slightly lower, obviously the units were way down. The number of listings that hit the market were way down. But what that sets us up for the next couple months is a major activity wave to hit in terms of, as listings come on, the buyers that have been looking are going to be scooping these things up. There's buyers that we're working with that have been waiting since like November to buy in the spring market, and we haven't been able to get to that yet. So if you're thinking about it, whether you're buying or selling, know what kind of market you're jumping into. For buyers, you have extremely low interest rates. It's going to be very competitive. And depending on what price point and school district you're looking in, that can make a big difference on what type of inventory you're looking at. If you're a seller, know that in most markets, there's a ton of opportunity because there's a ton of buyers waiting to jump on your house when it hits the market. Just our team alone here, in the last 14 days, we put together 18 contracts, both with buyers and sellers. And I think we have another couple through the weekend that'll end up going under contract by the time we get back to the office on Monday. So hope this was helpful. This is a snapshot for the Capital Region real estate market. If you know somebody where this might be beneficial for them, if they're looking to buy or sell, share it with them. Have them reach out if they'd like to have more detailed discussion. Our website is www.fieldrealty.com. My cell number is 518-669-1804. Again, my name is Mike Field. We'd love to earn your business and be a resource for you if you're buying or selling real estate in the Capital Region. Hope you have a fantastic day. And to all you moms out there, happy Mother's Day. Hope you have a great weekend.